Good morning. Welcome back to what I think is another Planet Doug behind the scenes video. It is, what day is it? Thursday, I believe. Yeah, Thursday, April 25th. I had no intention of recording any video at all today. I left without any of my cameras or any of my gear, so I'm recording this on my smartphone. I don't know what the audio will be like. But yeah, I thought I'd jump in here because I suddenly started getting things done and I wanted to talk about it. And I'm so happy right now. I decided to celebrate with a mango smoothie, mango passion, or something like that. Very nice. It better be nice. I saw this little stall here and I thought, well, I'm gonna celebrate with a drink, a cold drink. And actually I thought that as I walked past this, and then I went into a store to do some shopping, and I'm all gloom and doom thinking I'm not gonna get anything done. Shopping is so frustrating for me sometimes. But then it turns out that in this store, I'll tell the story in a minute, they did have what I needed, but because of a previous shopping thing that happened, I didn't have any money left. I didn't have money with me, at least I didn't think I had enough. So I was in this store trying to buy this thing, and I'm thinking, can I possibly even pay for this? And I ended up combining some money from my wallet with money in my Touch and Go eWallet, and a kind Planet Doug subscriber had actually just deposited some money into my eWallet, so that enabled me to buy what I was trying to buy today. And then to celebrate, I came here and I thought, I've got a couple of ringgit left in my wallet. I'm just gonna grab a cold drink. And I just ordered it without thinking. And then the bill was actually nearly 19 ringgit. So my mango fruity thing here was not cheap. And then I'm scrambling through my wallet, like, do I even have 19 ringgit? And by pulling together a whole bunch of ones, 1 ringgit notes I uncovered here and there, I managed to pay for my mango smoothie. The day started with a trip back to the Olympus Service Center here, OMD World Imaging. If you've been following my story, you know that I've been having issues with my Olympus camera system. Everything is broken. My camera body broke while I was down in Port Dixon. It just stopped working, and all of my lenses developed fungus on the inside. So I brought my camera body to Olympus to have them look at it. And as I talked about in a previous video, I dropped it off there and they said they would get back to me in 10 days, 10 business days, and tell me what's wrong with it. And I waited over a month. Right now, today is actually 40 days since I brought them the camera. And they never contacted me, not once, not one email, not a phone call, not a message, nothing. And I was waiting to hear from them and waiting and waiting. And I was cutting them some slack because it was Ramadan, and then it was Raya, there were holidays. So I gave them a lot of time, 40 days. You know, and when they said they could get it done in 10, not get it done, they were just going to look at the camera and then tell me whether they can fix it or not and how much that would cost. And that was supposed to take 10 days, but I never heard from them. And then, so I finally went into the office, and then the guy that I spoke to, very nice guy, very helpful, no issues at all with the friendliness of the customer service. I just wish they had contacted me. But anyway, I went in after a month, and this is an update, what's going on with my camera. And as it turned out, they said they couldn't isolate the problem. In fact, the problem that I've been experiencing, they couldn't even reproduce it. It would not happen for them. So they just put the camera on the shelf and kind of left it there. And again, I was thinking at that point, contact the customer and say, hey, we can't figure out what's wrong with it. Do you want to come in and we can talk about it, or what do you want us to do? But they just didn't do anything. So I went back in today, and what I was going to do today was just take everything away from them. I dropped off 2 lenses, the camera body, and I just wasn't in the mood to wait any longer, and I was just going to go to the office and say, listen, I'm leaving the country soon. I cannot wait any longer. Even if you're going to fix it now, I'm not going to be in the country by the time you're done fixing it, so I'm just going to take it all back. if you're not done, whatever, just give it all back to me, and then I'll go somewhere else in the future, something like that. But then I walk through the door, and the guy says, "Oh, your lenses are done." And I was like, "Oh." So they finished my lenses, cleaning them, but again, they never sent me an email to tell me that they had finished cleaning my lenses. And they said they haven't had time to look at my camera again, so they can't reproduce the problem, so there's nothing they can do. And then I just said, yeah, just give me the camera back. I mean, they're telling me there is no problem with the camera, so maybe it fixed itself. So anyway, I have it with me now. But there's all kinds of funny things though, because he told me, well, we can't fix it because we don't know what's wrong with it. But when I gave it to them, there were two things wrong with it. The camera wouldn't work, and then the latch on the battery is broken. You can see the battery door is open. It won't close because this little plastic tab broke off. So after the guy told me, yeah, we can't fix the problem with your camera because we don't know what it is. And as he's telling me this, I sort of picked up the latch and says, well, you could have fixed this. I mean, you couldn't fix this. He says, oh, well, we thought because we couldn't fix the camera for you, we would have to replace this. He says, well, that's what I wanted. I wanted you to... Anyway, I couldn't understand why they didn't, because it's two problems with the camera. And but he says, oh, we just assumed that you wouldn't want us to do that. And again, my counter argument is, well, don't assume, call the customer. Well, don't call me, I don't like phone calls, but they have my email address, and just send me an email. Say, dear customer, would you like us to go ahead and fix the battery door or not? And I would have said, yes, please, fix the battery door. But now, basically, they had my camera for 40 days, and now I just got it back, and nothing has been fixed, not even the battery door. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, that's life. Anyway, but they did fix the fungus in my lenses. So this is my 75mm lens, and according to them, it's brand new condition. Cleaned everything up, all the fungus is gone, everything is back together. It's brand new lens now, so that's fine. And I have this lens that's on the camera also now, perfectly clean, back in shape. So I'm happy about that. And then turns out Olympus, oh, I need a drink. I gotta stop for a drink here. Could be a bit milkier for me. Feels a little bit watery, juice and water and shaved ice. I was sort of, for that much money, I was sort of expecting something a little bit more luxurious feeling in the mouth, creamy, ice creamy flavor, but I think it's just water, crushed ice, and juice flavor or something. So it's okay. It's not great. Anyway, since Olympus is here at Sunway Velocity, and I'm also in the market for sandals, I've been going to a couple of places, and I haven't seen good sandals at a good price anywhere. And then I thought, oh, maybe there's a Bata here, a Bata shoe outlet, because the sandals I'm wearing now that are worn out and are no good anymore, I bought them at Bata at Mid-Valley Mega Mall. And I thought, oh, maybe there's a Bata here. Maybe they still sell the same sandals. In fact, I went to a Bata somewhere else. I forget where I was. I was at I was in a different shopping mall. They had a Bata, and I went in to see whether they had the same sandals that I bought last time, because I like them and they're good value, but they didn't have the same ones. So here I thought, oh, I'll check out this Bata. I went inside, and to my amazement, look at this. So exciting. The exact same model, size, brand, condition, everything is identical to the sandals that I bought before that I've been so happy with. So yeah, I bought them. And these are only 90 ringgit, and they are so much better than the sandals that I saw at Decathlon. Those were so cheaply made. They were nowhere near as nice as these ones, and most of the ones at Decathlon were more expensive. The ones I was looking at were 139 ringgit, the only ones that seemed reasonable. And yeah, even the 139 ringgit models were not as nice as these in terms of the Velcro, the straps, the width of the straps, the width of the cushioning. They're very, very nice sandals for me. So yeah, here's my little my power box. So I got a few things done today. I got my camera back. It's still broken. I want to get it back to my hotel room. I'll put a battery in it and I'll try it myself. And I'm willing to bet the first time I try to use it, it's going to shut down. They couldn't recreate the problem, but I'm willing to bet that I'll find it. It'll just shut down as soon as I turn it on. But who knows? If it fixed itself, that would be amazing. It would be even better if if I had a working battery door. That would be nice, but oh well. So yeah, it's pretty funny. I went into Bata, and as I said, I didn't bring a whole lot of money with me because I just assumed I hadn't heard from Olympus. I just assumed they hadn't done anything yet. So I was just gonna grab my lenses, grab my camera, and just leave. So I didn't come prepared. I didn't bring money to pay for anything. But as it turned out, they said, oh, your lenses are ready, and it cost 150 ringgit per lens. Luckily, I had 350 ringgit in my wallet for some reason. I don't know why I had that much money in my wallet, but I did. And so I had to pay them 300 ringgit for the lenses. And then when I went into Bata, and I was so happy to see those sandals, but I only had 50 ringgit left over. And I thought, and they're 90 ringgit, so I thought, now I can't even pay for these sandals. I only have 50 ringgit, but then I checked my eWallet, and I had enough there in my eWallet, thanks to a Planet Doug subscriber, to make up the difference. So I paid for part of it with Touch and Go, part of it with cash. So funny. And then, as I discovered, I did have some small bills in the other part of my wallet. All I saw were ones, like 1 ringgit notes. So I assumed there was nothing there. And then when this guy said, your mango smoothie is going to cost you 19 ringgit, I was like, oh, I don't think I have 19 ringgit. But when I dug deeper into my wallet, in and amongst the ones, there were 2 10s that I didn't see. They were hidden underneath. So I was able to pay for my smoothie. They're going to throw me in jail here for being unable to pay for my mango smoothie. No camera gear at all, not even a smartphone grip. It's not the best time to do any of this, but I thought since I'm here in a shopping mall and I seem to be having success, I'm going to keep looking around. I'm currently on the hunt for a Daiso store, because I heard that they have basic reading glasses because all of mine are broken. I buy these cheap reading glasses. All the ones I have now I bought at 7-Eleven in Thailand, I think. I bought 1 or 2 of them at the train station at KL Central a long time ago, but they're all breaking and broken. So anyway, I have a tip from someone that Daiso has a nice selection. Though I don't know about this Daiso outlet here at Sunway Velocity, but I finally found out where they are. I found a store directory. There aren't very many of them here, but I stumbled across one, a touchscreen, and I found out that they're on the 4th floor. I'm up on the 4th floor now. They have this sun motif for the ceiling, which makes sense for a Sunway. Children's playground over there. And then I get nervous leaning over with my phone. I do not want to drop my phone. But there's a display of BYD electric cars. The new Seal, the Dolphin. Well, actually, they're over there. And Mini Coopers. I guess it's and BMW. A variety of cars. Anyway, I better bring my phone back over. Just that's why I bought the smartphone grip. Because I'm always nervous about my phone slipping out of my fingers holding it. But this morning I was just not paying attention to anything, and I just left my hotel room intending to march to Olympus and demand my camera back. and I was gonna wipe the dust off my shoes as I left. I was just getting tired of waiting. Okay, so somewhere up here, this looks like Daiso territory. In fact, that's a gadgets and accessories store. This sort of floor is where the cheaper stores would end up. Pay less rent up here. All right, so I'm gonna settle in and try to find a Daiso. Oh, there's a theater. I was here just recently with KY watching Dune 2 in the IMAX theater. Sports Direct over there. Come on, Daiso. Where are you? Must be around the corner. I found it, but it's not a big one, so chances are they don't have what I'm looking for. But I'll go in and take a look around. I don't think they'll mind if I record a little bit of video in here. So here's the display of all the glasses. There's some like protective blue glasses for looking at computer screens, sunglasses, and then down at the bottom a whole range of these various types of reading glasses, different strengths. I didn't film any of that. It took a long time, but success. This Daiso had a big wall, a big display of reading glasses. All of them are ugly, various degrees of ugliness. So, yeah, but I just put them on to read something and then I take them off again. I'm not trying to be fashionable. And I bought 2 pairs, just in, of course, anytime you come across anything useful, buy more than one. They cost 6 ringgit each. So we're not talking about a big investment. But, yeah, but I did find one pair that was completely clear, because the problem with all the glasses there were they're just bizarre colors, like these ones, right? Bright blue, it's like the only thing you can get. And I just want basic black. Don't mess around with zebra patterns or deep purples with polka dots. And some of them were 2 colors, bright blue on the front and bright yellow on the side. I'm like, I don't want anything like that. But I found a set that is just completely clear. It's just clear, transparent plastic. The frames, the lens, everything is just, so those will be fine. And I found one pair that at least on the front was basic black, and then the earpieces are some sort of bizarre pattern, but I can live with that. But yeah, I did self-checkout, which is interesting. They had a machine there where you could scan your purchases yourself and then pay with touch and go. And now I have to figure out where the bridge is that takes me to the Maluri LRT stop. Give me a minute. A young guy was the only sales clerk there that I could see. He wasn't very busy, so they don't have a lot of staff on right now. And he was a very nice guy, helped me out to check out. When I was using the machine, the self-checkout thing, he came over to make sure I knew what I was doing and I didn't make any big mistakes. I see the tunnel leading across the street to go to Maluri. Got to go down one more floor. This is the main atrium, as you can see on the sign there. And here they have a big sun dial or sun up there at the top. And you have to look for the main atrium, as I've learned today, if you're looking for the tunnel, because there it is there, or the pedestrian bridge is what I mean. So that's the pedestrian bridge over there, going to cross the busy road if you want to get to Maluri. When I came here this morning, I did come a different way. People have told me that going to Maluri is a little bit far away from the Olympus office. It would have been better if I went to Cochrane Station, people told me. So I did do that this time. Whoop. I'm supposed to go down the escalator, dummy. So I did go to Cochrane. As I was exiting from the train at Cochrane Station, I was instinctively looking around for the arrows saying that way to Sunway Velocity, but there was nothing there at all. So you pretty much just had to guess, and I went out exit B, and once I came out of exit B, then I could see Sunway Velocity, and there was a pedestrian bridge to take you into the far back of the mall, exactly where Olympus is located. So, yeah. Well, the security guard's over there, so I'll wander around here once just to finish my story. They're never very happy to see anybody recording video, not even with a smartphone, I find. So, yeah, I came through the Cochrane MRT station, but since I'm here at this end, I'm gonna exit by Maluri. So yeah, the young guy, very helpful, very nice guy, helped me out with the checkout, but I did test him as a sales clerk and he failed the test because I want to buy cords for, like, you buy reading glasses, I dangle them around my neck, and the problem for me is that most cords are too short because I always have a microphone here, and normal cords will be so short that my glasses will be banging against the microphone. So I want long cords. So I was looking at the eyeglass neck cords that they had, and I couldn't tell how long they were. They did give a measurement, but I didn't know what that measurement meant. So what I wanted to do was find out how long these ones are. So if these ones are a certain number of centimeters or inches long, I can use that as a reference for buying one of theirs. I can look at the packaging. So I went up to the guy at the counter and I thought, well, maybe behind the counter they have stationery and maybe they have some kind of a measuring tape. So I asked him, oh, do you have a measuring tape here so I can see how long this cord is? And he just said, no measuring tape. But of course I knew we're at Daiso. They have everything at Daiso. So all I had to do was go to the tool section, and they've got a big wall of measuring tapes. So I just grabbed one off the shelf. They got big buckets of them, and then I used the measuring tape to find out how long this cord is. But it's kind of interesting that I asked the guy, do you have a measuring tape? And he said, no. And that was the end of it. But yeah, I'm a very different beast when it comes to customer service. If a customer said that to me, I'm thinking, oh, why does he need a measuring tape? I would ask him, what do you need to measure? Oh, you want to find out? Oh, we can figure something out. And then I would stay with the customer until I could solve their problem. But he just looked at me and said no, and then went back to his phone, basically. He failed the customer service test, and then I just went and found my own measuring tape on the shelf, and I measured it, and all of their neck cords were at least half the length of this one. So I couldn't use any of them. But anyway, I'm all done for now. I'm gonna go back to my hotel room, and I really want to see, when I put a battery into my camera, I want to see it exhibit the same problem as before, or maybe it fixed itself. Weirder things have happened. Olympus, the experts there, they could not make it fail, but somehow I don't think they were doing it right. According to the instructions I told them about how it fails, I don't think they were doing that. But anyway, we'll find out. Heading out of the mall now. Jumped ahead in time a little bit, back in my hotel room. Took a shower to cool down after all that walking, all that shopping, and enjoying my first cup of coffee of the afternoon. Perhaps my second cup of coffee of the day, I believe. I had one early this morning. Well, I thought I would do the rest of this stuff on camera. Since I started off talking about it, I'm going to demonstrate my new reading glasses. So terribly exciting. And then I'm going to put a battery into my Olympus and see what happens. Like, if I turn the camera on and it freezes the very first minute, the first second, whatever, that will be quite funny. Olympus had the camera for 40 days and 40 nights, trudging through the desert, and they just told me, nah, we couldn't see anything wrong with your camera. So we'll see. I mean, hey, if that's true, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Why, if that is true, then why in the world was it shutting down constantly in Port Dixon? It just would not even turn on. So, who knows? But we will see what happens. That will be quite exciting. Starting at the beginning, these are my old reading glasses, and as you can see, no, maybe you can't see, I'm filming this on my GoPro because my Olympus here in its plastic bag is not operational as yet. Yeah, so those are my old glasses, and the one arm broke off, and I've actually been using them like this for a long time since they broke, because my only other pair of reading glasses, which I need to edit video because I'm usually sitting here and I have my laptop on my lap, basically, and the distance from my eyes to the screen is very precise. So these ones, these blue ones, I believe they are plus 2.5 strength. I don't really know what that means, but anyway, plus 2.5, I believe it's either that or plus 3. I think plus 2.5, because the difference in these is considerable. So if you go from 1 to 2 to 3, those are big jumps. So 2 to 2.5 is actually a big jump. But anyway, I think these are 2.5, and when I put these on, the focus plane is over here. So, oh no, what am I talking about? They're stronger. The focus plane is here. Right. My hand is in focus right now, but my laptop screen is usually here. So it's a little bit blurry, and I end up working on my computer, and then I have to lean forward so that I can get it into focus, or I have to pick up the laptop and hold it close to my face, because these are too strong, basically. These are for closer. If I have something very tiny or precise on a smartphone that I need to read, I'll use these ones, and I can hold the phone right here, and everything is in focus. But if I'm on my laptop, then I have to take these off and put these on, back when it had 2 earpieces, and then my screen would be in focus. The funny thing is that once you lose one earpiece, the whole thing goes out of whack. I mean, I can put it on my nose and it stays there, but you can see they're like on an angle, and when that's on an angle, your eyes have a different focal plane, and it doesn't work. So then you're trying to get them to stay level, and then one might be closer to one eye than the other, and you got to kind of move it in and out, because without the other earpiece, it does not sit properly anymore, and I'm constantly fiddling with it and bending it, and then I'll get it just right, and I have to be careful not to touch it, and then I'm busy editing video or whatever it is I'm doing. And then I'll get up to make a cup of coffee or something, and I go over to the kettle and I bend over, and then the glasses fall off. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, they're broken. And not only is the arm broken, the lens itself, just over time, these are cheap plastic lenses from 7-Eleven. I think I bought these at the 7-Eleven in Mae Sot, Thailand when I was there. They're not clear anymore. They're, what's the word I'm looking for? They have a haze in them. So these basically are garbage. But I couldn't remember what power they were. It has the power written on the earpiece, but on both sides, it's been worn off because you wear them all the time, and basically all the lettering and the numbering is gone. So I don't really know what strength these are. And I'm sitting there in Daiso, and I'm putting these on, and I'm taking one from the display, like power, like +1, and then I basically look at something on the shelf that is in focus. So I position my head. I'm trying to match these up, is what I'm saying. So I position my head, okay, right here, that's in focus. And then I have to stay in the same place, and then I have to carefully take these off without moving my head. And then I grab the glasses I'm thinking about buying, and I'm trying very hard not to move. And then I take the other glasses and I put them on. Like, oh, it's not in focus. So then I have to take these off and then keep trying different glasses one by one. +1, +1.5, +2, +2.5. I'm trying to line them up because I don't know what power these are. I can't just buy off the shelf. And eventually I concluded that these were +2. That's what I needed. And they didn't have a whole lot of selection. And this is what I ended up getting. One pair anyway. Basically very, very similar, right? Black rims, but the arms have a bit of a pattern on them. They're sort of candy striped with some red in there or something. No big deal. Okay, nice. I can really see the difference actually. These are so hazy that even when you clean them, everything is fuzzy still, but with these, bang. Even the GoPro is sharp and in focus. And right here, oh, these are nice, yeah. 6 ringgit at Daiso, and this is what I have. I don't know what they look like exactly. How do I look? I'm sure I look fine. I don't really care. As long as they sit nicely and they're the right size. Okay, these are good. I'll have to get I don't have my laptop out, so I'm hoping that my laptop will be in focus. Yeah, looks like these are going to be nice. And then I bought one other pair because you need two at least. It's a rule of thumb for me that if you find something that's good, buy two of them and put one into storage because you're going to need it eventually. And then when you need it, you're not going to be able to find it. So like in this case, I remember I bought this cord for hanging glasses around my neck, and I found these ones which I thought were pretty good, and then they're really, really long and elastic, and I think I bought 5 of them, but I've gone through all 5, and it turns out they're really not that good because for whatever reason they kink. So it's like a rubber band, but look at that, it's just a mess. And I've noticed even in videos, I've got my glasses on or something, and these cords are so bent and kinked. This stuff is like in front of my face all the time, and it's just, I need new ones of these, and I haven't been able to find them. But I did buy 5 of them when I found these, and I've gone through all of them. This is the 5th one, and it's garbage. But I need long ones, and I haven't been able to find long ones. So anyway, I did notice that these ones from Daiso, they creak. Even like every time I put them on and take them off, the plastic kind of creaks. They feel brittle. So yeah, it's just sort of like, they're not going to last that long is what I'm saying. They're going to break. So when they break, I have another pair as a backup. And these are the ones I mentioned that have no frame. Oh, I thought the sides were clear as well, but they aren't. They're brown, which I can live with. But these ones don't have any frame at all. They're also +2. So it has no blue frame, no orange, no red, no black frame. Just, yeah, that's nice too. Okay, both of these are going to work just fine. So one of these will become my main reading glasses right now, and then one of them I will put away to save for the day when one of them breaks. I need at least one as a backup. So that's what happened with my reading glasses. And I have this case. Maybe I'll just make my black ones my main ones right now, and I'll put this one away into this case. Protect them. There we go. Those are my backups. And these ones go in the garbage. They serve me well. I'm not upset with them at all. They lasted a long time, a lot longer than I expected. I had it dangling around my neck constantly, banging into things, getting stuck on things, scraping against things, getting covered in sweat all the time. So they serve me well. I'm very appreciative of the service of my old reading glasses. So they will be disposed of with honor, having served me well, and they will be replaced by the new ones. So those are my reading glasses. And now we come to the main event, the Olympus. I have my 45mm lens on there right now, which is now in, oh, for Pete's sake, I forgot to put on the microphone. It was sitting down here, so yeah, I've got too many things on my mind right now. I'm doing too many things. But you probably heard me a little bit anyway. The microphone was too far away. Now it's at a good spot. So anyway, here is my Olympus with my broken battery door. That to be honest, that really bums me out. This broken battery door is such a pain. And I was thinking, okay, I gave it to you with 2 problems. You couldn't fix one of them. Like, couldn't you have fixed this? I don't know. What's an analogy for that? You hire somebody to fix your bicycle, and you have a flat tire and you have a broken spoke. And then the guy, when you go back to pick it up 40 days later, when they've never called you and never even sent you an email, never contacted you in any way, and then you finally, after a month and a half, you go back and say, what's going on with my bike? And they say, well, we don't have that spoke in stock. We cannot fix the broken spoke. And they give your bike back to you. And you're thinking, okay, you couldn't fix the broken spoke, but you've had it for a month and a half. What about the flat tire? I mean, come on. I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Yeah. I was talking with the guy at Olympus about this. I raised my concerns about, I explained it in a very polite way, I think, where I said to him that, okay, from a customer's point of view, let me tell you that the overall service that I've gotten here has really not been satisfactory from a customer's point of view. So for example, I gave you a camera with 2 problems, and you decided you can't fix one of them, and then you never contacted me, and then you just decided not to fix the other problem. To me, that doesn't make any sense at all. It just does not work as customer service in any way, and I'm explaining that to him. But as he explained it to me, he said, well, we get in trouble with customers if there are multiple issues and we can't fix one of them, but we fix the others. The customer is upset with us because the camera is still not usable because it still shuts down all the time. So now we've wasted their money by fixing something on a camera that they can't use. But of course, we had a long discussion about this, and everything he said, none of it made any sense to me. And I said, okay, that's what you're telling me, but that's a different situation. This situation, 2 things you've overlooked. You're telling me that there's nothing wrong with the camera, that it works fine. You can't find the problem with it. You can't reproduce the problem. So what you're telling me is you're giving me back a perfectly good, serviceable camera that works, right? The camera is not broken according to you. Therefore, that whole argument is pointless. You should have fixed the battery door because that was part of the work order. It's right there in the work order. And I gave them the old lever that closes the battery door. He gave it back to me with the cameras. Okay, here's your camera. Here's your battery door lever. And that's when he gave it to me. That's like, what? You didn't fix that? Like, you've had it for 40 days. I said, for Pete's sake. And the other point is, okay, you have this concern that if you fix the battery door, I won't be happy as a customer. Well, call me. No, don't call me, but send me the email, because my email address, that's how they communicate with you. They sent me emails about the camera lenses saying, this is how much the lens is going to cost. So we are communicating by email. They know that works. So if they have a concern, what does the customer want? Because we can't locate the problem, maybe he doesn't want us to fix the battery door. Well, okay, maybe. Find out. Don't just sit there for 40 days doing nothing. Send me an email. Dear customer, this is the situation. Do you still want us to go ahead with that repair? And I would have said absolutely, because this has been driving me nuts. It's so stupid. Anyway, the battery door is open. And I'm going to put in a battery, and we're going to see what happens. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting customer service discussion I had with him, because I did say to him as well, even on my previous visit, well, you guys looked at this camera weeks ago. I gave it to you, and you said you're going to look at it and get back to me within 10 days. And then you said during those 10 days, you checked it out, could find nothing wrong with it. And then you never got in touch with me to tell me that. You just put it back on the shelf and just left it there and did nothing after that point. And he was saying, well, it was Ramadan, it was Raya, we had a lot of work to do. Okay, again, that's not my problem. That sounds like an Olympus problem. That's got nothing to do with me. And he said, well, then you came in with lenses afterwards. I think I brought the lenses in after Raya. So they had a whole month to work on the camera, but let's set that aside. But he says, well, then you brought in lenses for us to clean the fungus. So now what we do is we treat it as one job, one customer with a camera and 2 lenses, and we won't communicate with the customer until all 3 of them are in a completed state, because customers don't like it if we tell them one thing is finished, but not the other thing is not. That was his explanation, and I thought that was completely unsatisfactory. It's like, oh, come on. It was a totally separate job. I gave you this 40 days ago, and then I brought the lenses in, I think 3 weeks later. So it's not like I brought them in together as one repair job. This was one job, and then weeks later, I went in and dealt with a completely different person, in fact, and submitted 2 lenses to be cleaned. They were not connected in any way. So he was just making things up. And I don't know if anyone out there has noticed this, but I've noticed it as well, that if you're dealing with any kind of a store about something that's broken, they can't help but try to make you as at fault, that you did something wrong, right? Actually, it started when I first arrived there. He kind of got my back up right from the very beginning, because I came into the office. There's like a little lobby, a little reception area, very small, and then there's a work area behind a door. And they buzzed me in, and then I came into the reception area, but there was nobody there. And then I'm standing there. I've got my 3 work orders on paper, 1 for the camera, 1 for each lens. I've got these pieces of paper in my hand. And the technician came out from behind, came into the reception area, and then I told him, you know, this is taking way too long. I'm here. I'd like to take everything back. I'm done waiting. I can't wait any longer. Just give me everything back, and I'll just deal with it some other way. I can't wait any longer. And then he said, oh, your lenses are done. Your lenses have been cleaned, and they're ready to go. And I thought, oh, well, that's good news. But again, I wish you had told me that. And then he turned to me and he said, you have to wait a few minutes because you didn't call ahead. So since you didn't call ahead, we have to go work on some paperwork first. You know, you should have called ahead. If you had called ahead, we would have been ready for you. But because you didn't call ahead, you're going to have to wait for a little while. And then I was thinking, I didn't call ahead? Why would I call ahead, for Pete's sake? And you finished cleaning my lenses. You certainly didn't contact me. I didn't know the lenses were ready. I didn't come in here to pay. I didn't even bring any money because you never contacted me. I didn't even know the lenses had been cleaned. You guys didn't tell me. So then don't give me any of this, this nonsense about you really should have called before you came in. It's like, oh, I wanted to slap him around a little bit. So come on. And then we started talking about how they can't find the problem with the camera. And he kept pointing at the worksheet and said, look, it says intermittent. That means the problem doesn't always happen. It's intermittent. So that's why we can't find it. And then I just stopped him right there. And I said, listen, that's what your work order says, intermittent. But when I came in, I was here for a long time working with one of your employees, and I demonstrated the problem over and over. We worked together. We tried it with this lens. We took one of your lenses, put it on the camera. We tried it with this battery, put in a new battery, everything. We tested it over and over, and every time I turned on the camera in front of your employee, the camera failed. And I showed them how it failed, what it looked like, how nothing would work. None of the buttons would respond. The LCD screen would go black. I showed it. They saw it happen over and over again. So quit pointing at the word intermittent on that form. The fact that your work order in your company says, oh, the only thing it says is one word, intermittent. That's on you guys. You should have had a video running when I was out there in the lobby as we worked on the camera for a long time, and I demonstrated how it happened over and over. I turned the camera off, turned it on, it failed, it just shut down. Turned the camera off, turned it back on again, the LCD comes on, and then it freezes, and then nothing happens, and then no buttons will operate. You can't even turn the camera off anymore. You have to pull the battery. It happened over and over and over as I demonstrated it. So don't give me this, well, it's not our fault, it just says intermittent. That's not enough information. So, well, I gave you guys tons of information. You did not write it down. I was not that mean to him. I wasn't speaking like this. This is the behind the scenes version of the story. The real version, had I been filming my encounter, I was being very polite and very quiet and just talking about this. So, setting all that aside, I'm pretty sure these batteries have a charge. Let's see what happens. Let's get the LCD screen. And I'm pretty sure it will turn on the first time. Oh, I need a memory card in order to shoot video. So give me a second, I'll be right back with a memory card. Memory card, camera. I mean, if the camera actually just works and never fails again, oh, I will be so happy. Then I'll have to bring it back and say, listen, can we fix this? It's so, you can't put the camera down, because every time, if you forget that this is flopping open and you put it down, you're just gonna snap this right off. So I have to put the camera down upside down on top of the shutter button in order to have, anyway. All right, memory card is in, powering up. I will turn the camera around, and I think the LCD screen will come on this time. Anything? Maybe the battery, maybe this particular battery has no power. Okay, that's probably a dead battery. They've been sitting around for a long time. Maybe I never charged them up. Battery number 2. And, oh, the screen came on. So that's good. Card full, it says, because the memory card is full. Let's see if I can go into the menu and format it. So far, so good. The menu is working. And let's go over to, I've forgotten where anything is. Must be under there somewhere. Ooh, these glasses are actually, I can't see anything that close. I guess I have to, so annoying. You have to use different glasses depending on what you're doing. Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, Olympus has weird menus, man. They talk a lot about how different camera companies like Sony had a reputation for a very in-depth and complicated and somewhat confusing menu system. Modern cameras, man, their control settings are unbelievable. But Olympus, they seem to have been the best at making the most mystifying menus. Where the settings are hidden, why they grouped some things together, it's very, very weird. So let's format this memory card. So far, we're still working. And yeah, I've learned, don't bother setting the year or the month or the day. If you set the date, it won't stay. As soon as you change the battery, it loses it. So I got so frustrated when it was happening before, because every time I'm filming, I would enter the year, the day, stuff like that. And then, because it's good for every video you take, when you're trying to edit video later, you're organizing, putting it in folders for different projects. You need to know the date that you shot that video on. But because the power doesn't hold it. So, took a picture. And now let's go into video mode, shoot some video of the GoPro. Shooting video. Still working, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Like I said, this is normal. This would happen, and then you turn off the camera, turn it back on, and then it fails. But let's stop recording, do a little bit of playback. Shooting video. Playback is working, so let's turn the camera off. Turn it back on. It worked again, came back on. I got all ready. I didn't even know I did it. This is my normal lens, the 12 to 35 Panasonic. That is a beautiful lens too, man. Ooh. So silky smooth. Unfortunately, this lens has fungus in it too now. Couldn't believe it. I brought it, I talked about this already. This is one of the lenses, because I thought this camera was toast. So I would have no use for this lens anymore. And I brought it in to see how much is it worth secondhand. Would you guys buy it from me as part of a trade-in deal? And they took one look at it and went, fungus. It's like, oh, come on. Don't tell me that. But anyway, this lens also has, it doesn't affect the video quality. I can use it for the rest of my life with that fungus in there. You won't see it. You're not going to see it in the video. But whenever you try to sell it, the person you're trying to sell it to is going to look at the lens and they're going to examine it. Here in Malaysia, people are hyper aware of fungus. So if they look in a lens and they see anything at all, they're like, no, get it away, get it away, get it away. And it's really hard to see as well. In normal light, the guy showed me the fungus. He took a picture of it. He did this. They shine a light through it. And then he took a picture. Yeah, I actually right now I can see it a little bit. Yeah, over there on the edge. There's the fungus. It looks a little bit like a constellation, or like a grouping of stars with lines connecting them, because the fungus will, grows outward from a central point. But there's a tiny piece of, a little patch of fungus down there. Very annoying. But as I said, it won't affect the video. This level of fungus probably could cover the entire lens, and it wouldn't affect the video quality, at least not for a Planet Doug production. Maybe a National Geographic extravaganza with pixel peeping. They would notice something, and I don't think even they would. Nah. But there it is. I can actually see it. Yeah, I'm happy I can see it. Because when the guy, to be honest, I had a little bit of a moment when I went to the camera place and the guy took one look at my lens. I said, oh, because I love this lens. It's such an amazing lens. I was just like, I felt like I was giving him something precious to look at. I was like, yeah, I know people love this lens. It has a reputation. And I'm like presenting him with something so amazing. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about selling my Panasonic 12 to 35. And he took it and he went, fungus, get this piece of crap away from me. And it kind of hurt my feelings. And I thought maybe just for a millisecond, I thought he was not being honest with me, because that would be a tactic to drive down the price, right? It's like, oh, no, look at that. Oh, can you feel that? Oh, that feels loose. Or, oh, look at that little, there's a mark right there. And I'll look at it and go, you see a mark? I don't see anything. And I thought maybe he was making it up. It's like, oh yeah, there's fungus. I'll give you half price. That kind of bargaining tactic at the very beginning, because I brought this lens in to them before. This was not the first time I brought it in. This was a long time ago, and I just wanted to know, like, what's this lens worth, and is it, would you be interested in buying it? I was just feeling it out. And they looked at it and said, yeah, it's in great condition, no fungus. And that was before I went to Sumatra. And now I took the lens to Sumatra, used it the whole time I was there for 2 months, and then I was down in Port Dickson for 1 month, and I got back here, And within those 3 months, that fungus grew. But anyway, I was really happy when the guy showed it to me. It was like, okay, because I said to him, it's like, come on, I gave this to you guys a couple of months ago, and you said there was no fungus in there. How can there be fungus now? And that's when he took his 2 phones and he took a picture of it for me and he showed me on the photo. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, you're not lying. That's fungus. But again, it's not really fungus in the way you might think of fungus. We're not talking about something growing on bread, like green mold or something. This is like wispy, almost like a spider web. That's the best comparison, but really thin spider web. So where's my lens cap? Let's get this off there. Put this on. This is a heavy lens though. I'm thinking about, where's my red dot? There it is. Got to line up the red dots. You get this amazing click. Precision electronics, precision camera gear. There's nothing like it. Man, that fit is so amazing. But that's a heavy lens. I wanted to use this for vlogging, like to hold it and film myself, but it was so heavy to hold on to. I guess I've never liked that system. I see a lot of vloggers, they do this. I could try that because then, I mean, walking around like this feels weird to me. I want it on a selfie stick, but at the end of a selfie stick, it's too heavy. And I was thinking about selling these lenses and taking the money to buy a different lens. And if this camera body is still in amazing condition, maybe I'll go through with it. But anyway, let's see what happens. Let's turn the camera on. I'll show you the LCD screen. I can see a reflection there. Year, month, day. Yep, turned on. Zooming in, taking the picture. Beautiful lens. Let's take some video. So far, so good. Yeah, if it never exhibits that failure again, boy, I'll be confused. Like how, why, what was going on? Turn it off. Give it a second or two. Turn it back on. So far, so good. As I said, when I brought it into Olympus that time and I demonstrated the problem, it occurred the second time. I basically did what I'm doing now, just turned the camera off, turned it back on. The second time I did that, it shut down, it froze. But I've done it how many times now? 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And so far, no issue. It's a beautiful camera, it really is in a way. But if you know your history of Olympus cameras, this model was released before Olympus got serious about video. This is the Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II. And the Mark II does have a microphone jack, but it has contrast detect autofocus, which is the killer for video. And when they came out with the EM5 Mark III, they added phase detect autofocus. And I believe they added a lot of video features, and they sort of organized the camera's systems to focus more on video, more video features, make their video system a little bit more logical and work better. So, but assuming you can live with the contrast detect autofocus, this is not a bad camera at all. Of course, it's not a modern vlogging camera. It was never meant to shoot video. It's meant to take pictures. Still going strong. All right, gonna set that aside for now. So maybe good news. Maybe good news. And I guess that is the the end of my stories for now. What did I do? Oh, I suppose I can give you one more look at my sandals. My brand new Power Bata sandals for 89 ringgit. So exciting. There's the right one and the left one. There we are. Nice, nice. What a difference between these and the ones I looked at in my previous video. I filmed looking at sandals at Decathlon, and things like this, the part that goes around your heel, for example, this is like wide and soft, and there's so much strap. The ones at Decathlon barely had enough, if you folded it over, for the Velcro to reach to make a seal. Like it didn't make it at all. This has, look at all that Velcro there. And when you fit this properly, the whole thing practically just, there's so much connection there. That's nice. And on the sides here, nice and big and soft and cushioning. Everything about it is much better quality than what I saw at Decathlon. Lightweight. My only concern is that maybe I bought too large again, but I was very careful this time, and I talked to the guy, as I said, at Bata, the expert. I was wearing the size 9, and it seemed to fit my feet perfectly, but there was nothing left. My heel was all the way lined up with the back, and my toes were like all the way to the front, and it looked like my toes were vulnerable. They were just like almost sticking out over the end. And I thought, well, okay, that is a perfect fit. That sandal is the exact same size as my foot. And I thought maybe that's how it's supposed to look. And I went over to the guy and says, like, look at my feet. What do you think? Just looking at that, what do you think of that fit? And he says, no, that's too small for you. Your toes are right up at the front. That's gonna cause problems. So then they got a size 10, and from a 9 to a 10 is a big jump in sizes. And then when I put these on, when I kind of wiggled my foot around as much as I could and moved my heel as far as I could towards the back, it seemed like there was like, just a touch too much space here at the front. And I thought over time, as I walk, the sandal will flatten again, and then the front of it will actually spread out, and then I'll be back with sandals that are too big for my feet. And that's why I wanted 9.5. That would have been the perfect size. But wait for it, they don't have 9.5. These come in full sizes. They don't come in half sizes. So you can get 9, you can get 10. So I went for 10. Which again is a very typical experience in my life. Normally, the one size that I want is the one size that they don't have. And I had that experience too. I went to a couple of tech stores when I was at the mall, computer, gadget, camera stores while I was there, just looking around, because I do need more memory cards. All of my memory cards are too small. They're all like 64 gigabyte cards, and they fill up way too fast. So all day long, I'm like changing memory cards. So for a long time, I've wanted to get a set of 256 gigabyte memory cards. The SanDisk Extreme 256 gigabyte. If I had like 4 of those, 2 for each GoPro, perfect. That's all I would need to get on in life. The 64 gigabyte ones are just so small, they're kind of annoying. But anyway, so I go in there and I just said what I want. I just mentioned on video, what I want. I want the 256 gigabyte SanDisk Extreme, right? So there's the display, all the SanDisk micro SD cards. Up at the top, the cheapest ones, SanDisk Ultra. Those are the cheapest, but they're also the slowest. And you can't use Ultra in a GoPro. It can't handle high-speed transfer. It's meant for smartphones, basically. So you buy the Ultra for your smartphone. Even on a smartphone, if you're shooting 4K video, you probably can't use Ultra. But anyway, so there's all the Ultra. They have everything. 16 gigabyte, 32, 64, 128, and 256 gigabyte. Ultra. Perfect. At the bottom, SanDisk Extreme Pro. And they are the fastest, the best, and the most expensive by a lot. So I don't need Extreme Pro. You only need Extreme Pro for very professional, high-speed data transfer. And they're very expensive memory cards. So, but there again, Extreme Pro, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. So Ultra, 256. Extreme Pro, 256. Right in the middle is what I want, SanDisk Extreme. Drum roll, you know what's coming. 16, 32, 64, 128, nothing. The one I want. They have every type, every size, except for the one type and size that I want. The SanDisk Extreme 256. And I knew, before I even looked, I knew that if I want Ultra 256, they got it. You want Extreme Pro 256? We got it. But I want, whatever it is I want, the Extreme 256, oh, we don't have that. You know, why don't you have that? Well, because you want it. That's why we don't have it. There's a very famous concept in quantum mechanics. People generally misunderstand what it means, but there's basically this idea of the observer effect, where, you know, Schrodinger's cat, you put the cat in the box, and then you don't, and you put the in with like a cyanide tablet or something, but you don't know whether the cat is alive or dead until you open the box and look. So until you open the box, the cat is both alive and dead. And they use that to illustrate what it's like in the world of quantum mechanics, that particles are in both states. They're both particles and waves at the same time. And then when the only way to know which they are is to observe them. But by observing them, you change them. So you don't know if they're a particle or a wave until you look at them. So you actually affect what they are. That's how people interpret it, which actually isn't quite accurate, but I won't get into that. But anyway, there's this whole idea that reality changes based on the observer. When you observe reality, then reality will change because of the observer effect. And I'm pretty convinced I live in a quantum mechanic world, because I walked into that camera store and the store knew I was looking for 256 gigabyte extreme memory cards. And because the store knew that's what I wanted, that's the card they didn't have. But I know I could go into that same store, and if I wanted to buy in advance, I knew I wanted to buy Extreme Pro 256 gigabyte, that's the card they wouldn't have. And they would have Extreme 256. I'm convinced that whatever it is I'm looking for, I affect reality around me, and the world will actually stop having the thing I'm looking for. It happens to me every time. Color, I want to buy a t-shirt, and I want the t-shirt to be blue. Every store I go into will have red, orange, yellow, and green. Nobody will have the blue. But if I'd wanted the orange shirt, that's the one they wouldn't have, and they would have had the blue all the time. It's just the size I want is never available, the color I want, the model I want, whatever it is I'm looking for. Or, this is also very important, I'll go into a store. This happens to me all the time. I notice it constantly. Doesn't matter what the store is, 99 Speed Mart, KK Supermart, 7-Eleven, Selections grocery store. I'll go in there to buy something, and there are different types. You want to buy, let's say I want to buy a toothbrush. There's a whole wall of toothbrushes. The one toothbrush I look at that I might want to buy is the only toothbrush in the entire store that doesn't have a price on it every single time. How does that happen? I don't understand it. All the other toothbrushes will have prices. I can say, oh, that one's way too expensive. That one's, oh, okay, that's a cheap piece of junk. I can see the prices on everything, and then I find the one I want. Oh, actually, I like that toothbrush. Medium bristles. I like this, okay, oh, I'll get that one. That's the one, there is no price tag on it every single time. Shirts, there'll be all the shirts in the store. All of them will have price tags on them until I decide which one I want to buy. And the one I want to buy, that will be the one without a price tag on it. It's like every single time. And here it happened again. Good example, Daiso. I wanted to buy these reading glasses, no prices. I had no idea what they cost. There's no price on the packaging. Other stuff all around me had prices on them, but not the reading glasses I wanted to buy. So I had to go up to the counter, hey, excuse me, can you tell me how much these are? And the guy tells me, and then I come back 2 minutes later, well, I'm actually interested in these ones. How much are these ones? And then, how much are these ones? It's like every single pair I want to buy, they don't have any prices. All right, that's me. I live in a quantum mechanic world. But I find myself filled with happiness right now because I have these sandals, I have my lenses, and I have my camera. My world has come together. So I think that is it for now. I have other things I could talk about, of course. I never run out. But for now, I think I'll shut down here. A mini behind the scenes video. I think it's mini anyway. I don't think it's as long as my normal ones. So that's it, shutting down, getting on with the rest of my day, and I'll see you in the next video.